Wow, I mean, where to begin, guys? So Devin Haney versus Vasyl Lomachenko has just commenced, and Devin Haney remains the undisputed champion. However, let's just get straight to the point. The overall consensus is this was a robbery. And no, this is not just a consensus amongst the casual fans. Even if you look at it from an objective standpoint, the amount of jabs that had been thrown versus jabs landed, power punches thrown versus power punches landed, by that alone, it's a win for Lomachenko. Now, of course, if you break the fight down round by round, before round 10, many of the rounds could be swing rounds. I predicted to a T specifically what Devin Haney would do throughout the fight, which was essentially mimic Teofimo Lopez throwing the jab cross to the body, and we all knew Devin Haney would have success here because he's a weight bully. He cuts a huge amount of weight to the extent that he looks half dead, so bad in fact that they didn't show the ceremonial weigh-ins for an undisputed championship fight. Being the bigger man with the longer range, and to his credit, incredible speed and accuracy, we knew he would have the advantage with just fundamentals alone. It was Lomachenko coming up in weight with all the odds against him. He remained patient in the early rounds, and Haney was on point with the jab. But listen, in the majority of rounds before the 10th, Lomachenko would make it an even playing field by landing combinations, which means the deciding rounds were the championship rounds. In rounds 10 and 11, Lomachenko had worked out the puzzle. He was able to work his way into the pocket and double up his left straight, and from there follow up with combinations to the body and up top. And Haney was clearly dazed, flustered, and dare I say outclassed. But to Haney's credit, in round 12, he fought back, but I'd still give that round to Lomachenko as well. But no, this was a unanimous decision win for Devin Haney. Unanimous decision. And if you don't know, one of the judges scoring this match also scored Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis, giving Ryan Garcia a round in which Tank Davis knocked him down. But look, if you followed boxing most of your life, like myself, you'll know it's a corrupt industry, and to some extent we accept that. And if you're rooting for a certain fighter who loses but clearly won, we try to take the moral victory. Haney getting the win wasn't the issue for me, it's how he accepted the win.
You remain undisputed. What did this fight do for your career?
Oh man, it put me in the history books forever. I just beat a future Hall of Famer. It means everything to me and my team. Alhamdulillah.
Which concludes that he is a man of no honor. And judging by his father's post-fight interview,
if Vasyl Lomachenko and things came to there being a rematch, would you guys honor that?
I don't see where it would have been. It would have been that close to be a rematch.
Like father, like son. Lomachenko is not just a legend in the game. He changed the game. Most competitive high-level fighters understand deep down that skill for skill, they are not as good as Lomachenko. And again, that's why Devin Haney picked him, because he's the bigger guy. He knew he had that advantage. But when you fight a guy you know in your heart outskilled you with all the physical attributes against him, when the judges give you that win, the least you can say is, it was a close fight. It could have gone either way. That's respect. That's honor amongst men. Vasyl Lomachenko is a man with integrity, with honor. The night that Loma became Lomachenko was the night he fought Guillermo Rigo. Rigo at the time was undefeated, and he had gone up in weight by 2 weight classes to challenge Lomachenko. Lomachenko dominated him. It was possibly his best performance to date. But here's what Lomachenko had to say in the post-fight conference.
He's a king in the boxing, but he's a king in his weight category. It's not his size, it's not his weight. So it's not big win for me because it's another weight category.
And it's the night I became a fan of Lomachenko. As a human being, forget country, culture, creed, color. I respected him as a man. Devin Haney is a child, and he is obviously a child being fathered by a child. And let's keep it real, he was trained by a child. That's why we see those same traits in Tank Davis. Rehydration clauses, spies in camps, men without honor. So where do we go from here? If the consensus is this was a robbery, then Lomachenko's legacy is not tarnished, and in many people's eyes, including myself, he is undisputed. In the unwritten rules, officially Haney is undisputed, but he will go down in history as a man with no honor, however you want to word it, and he'll have to defend his title as the villain going forward. Personally, I like to see a rematch, but as we heard from Haney's father, apparently the match wasn't even close. So I think it's more than likely that Lomachenko goes down in weight, takes on fighters his own size, and goes down in history as one of the greats. Haney's either going to stay in his division and most likely take on Shakur Stevenson, or as he made clear in his post-fight speech, admitting to struggling for making the weight for years, he'll end up going up in weight and he's going to struggle because without that reach advantage, he does not display the skills of a pound-for-pound fighter. If we push the politics aside, this was a fantastic fight. It was a chess match. And listen, despite my negative feelings towards Haney, I now find him far more intriguing as the villain. I think the results of this fight adds a lot of stock to Shakur Stevenson. You know, Lomachenko fans are definitely going to be rooting for him. It's just such a shame. I didn't mind Haney. If you watched my technical breakdown, I went into it with no bias. But if there's one thing I can't tolerate in life, it's a man with no integrity, a man with no moral compass, to have no guidance, no sense of conscience, to live to serve the desires of yourself with no regard for others. At 24 years old, you can kind of give Haney a pass. He's clearly misguided. He's got yes men all around him, left, right, center. I mean, Floyd Money Mayweather's his idol. Do you know what I mean? Listen, I only hope that Devin Haney, as a young man, self-reflects, listens to public perception, and as an accountable grown man, steps out of the shadow of his dishonest father.
I don't see where it would have been. It would have been that close to be a rematch.